Hey, what is up, everybody? This is now going to be day 4 of the Halloween movie review series. This one is going to be Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers. And yes, this time it was like legit, because apparently fans were outraged when they saw Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, in the theaters and there was no Michael Myers. Fans wanted to see Michael Myers. And this is 10 years after Michael Myers came after, after the second movie, pretty much. This is 10 years. Because the first movie technically took place in 1978, and the second movie takes place in 1978. So this was 10 years, pretty much in the making. And yes, that does prove that Michael Myers not being in Halloween 3 was a factor. And everybody hated that movie because because they literally had to call this one The Return of Michael Myers, so that way people would go see it, because they didn't want. I could just imagine they didn't put Michael Myers in it, just to piss everybody off. I kind of wish that would have happened, but we'll get to that. Well, actually, we won't get to that because it didn't happen. But so let me just kind of go through it. This movie is directed by Dwight H. Little. It's produced by Paul Freeman, yeah, this is pretty much based on the character. This is pretty much based on the first two, the writers of John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. They are the ones that are masterminds behind this, and pretty much Dwight H. Little took this idea and ran with it. Because pretty much, I think after the second one, Jonathan Carpenter and Deborah Hill didn't want anything to do with it, because they thought the second one should have been the end of it, which led to them going into that third one, as what everybody hated. And then I'm guessing what happened is Dwight H. Little got the rights to make this movie, or, Paul Freeman got the rights to make this movie. So, yeah, so pretty much this is by a completely new person's doing this. He's taking this idea and he's running with it. And this movie came out on October 21st, 1988. I'm just gonna start talking about it. This takes place. The first scene of the movie takes place in Smith's Grove Sanitarium. This is 10 years after the incident where Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers were burned in the fire, and somehow they survived. They somehow survived that. They didn't really explain how they survived, but somehow they survived. Two doctors, or two EMTs, are transferring him out of Smith's Grove, because now Michael Myers is pretty much owned by the federal state, pretty much. He's being transferred, and everybody's happy to see him go because of how much of a psycho he was. They kind of tell him about his story, about how he went, about everything that happened in the first and second movie. Then we find out, though, that Dr. Loomis isn't the one that's transferring him. It's, I have to look up his name. Hold on, I'm just trying to see, who it was. It was a different doctor. I can't find his name on here. Which kind of sucks. I normally research that type of stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I have no clue. Yeah, I feel kind of, embarrassed about that. Sorry about that. But pretty much one of the other doctors there, because technically Dr. Sam Loomis is still his doctor, but he's not here because of all the burns and stuff that's happened to him. He's hoping actually that he either retires, transfers to another hospital, or dies now that Michael Myers is being transferred out. And Michael Myers has been in a cosmic state. He has bandages wrapped around his head after the burns, and he gets transferred out of there. We find out that Michael Myers has that Laurie Strode has a daughter, pretty much, and she lives in she lives in I'm just trying to remember the name of the town. Hattonfield. And pretty much though that she's not old enough to take custody of him, so now she's owned by this. Now Michael Myers is owned by the state, and then Michael Myers kills the two doctors in the ambulance, and we don't see anything that happens. Then later on, we see Jamie Lord, and she's staring out the window like she's had a nightmare. She's having trouble sleeping. Rachel comes up. This is her, and we find out that she's been adopted. She's been there for about 11 months. They didn't exactly say what happened to Laura Strode, but I guess we're supposed to assume that she went crazy, because I have no clue what happened to her. And yeah, she gets put back to sleep, and she takes out the picture. She has a box full of pictures that has Michael Myers in it, and then she has we see Michael Myers watching behind her. He tries to attack her, but we find out that this was just all a bad dream, and her parents comfort her. Then later on in the night, the parents have to go out, and the babysitter canceled because she broke her leg skating. So Rachel was supposed to go out on a date with Brady. She gets upset and pretty much says that, yeah, now I'm not going to have any kids or anything because I have to babysit tonight. Jamie overhears this, takes it the wrong way, and says that, yeah, if you and pretty much blames herself for the fact that she can't go out. And Rachel comes up and apologizes, and she says, I can just go out another night. And the whole story was that Jamie's upset, feels like that she's unloved, and she doesn't really feel like that Rachel loves her like a sister, since they're not really sisters. And Rachel says, though, that that they're gonna go out trick-or-treating tonight, but Jamie isn't interested in it, so they said they're gonna go out for ice cream. More on this later. Then later on in the movie, Dr. Loomis has found out that Michael Myers has escaped. He's upset about this, that he wasn't informed about it, because not escaped, but that he was transferred out, and he's upset because obviously after everything that's happened in Haddonfield before, and obviously with the shape that he's in, now he has a cane, he can't really walk anymore. And then the doctor says that he's going to be fine, that it was over 10 years ago, he's in a cosmic state, he can't move. Then we find out that there's been an accident, and we see that the ambulance that Michael Myers was in is just tipped over in the river. And Dr. Loomis, the doctor tries to convince him it was just an accident. He's like, this was no accident. And he finds a lot of six dead bodies. And he says, well, maybe Michael Myers' body just got launched out of the ambulance. And Dr. Loomis obviously doesn't think that happened because he knows Michael Myers. So he goes to Haddonfield, Dr. Loomis goes to the gas station. There was a guy a mechanic fixing his car there. Michael Myers kills him, and when Dr. Loomis arrives, he sees the guy hung up by a chain, and then we see that Michael Myers has killed everybody at the gas station. Then he sees Michael Myers, and he tells Michael not to go to Haddonfield. He wants him to kill him instead. He says that leave all those people alone, show them mercy. So Dr. Loomis goes to shoot at him, but Michael Myers has escaped. So then Michael Myers takes a big truck and drives right out of the gas station. He hits a gas tank, and the whole place catches on fire. And obviously Dr. Loomis' car got on fire, so he has to get a new ride. Then later on, we see Jamie getting made fun of by everybody at school for being an orphan, which I thought kind of was mean, but she's upset about it. She gets picked up by Rachel and a friend, and she tells Rachel she wants to go trick-or-treating. So they go to the store to go trick-or-treating. Rachel tells Brady that she can't go out on the date because she has to babysit tonight. So Brady offers to come over at 8:30. Brady, earlier in the movie, we see somebody else, another woman that works at the store with Brady, and he's kind of flirting with her. Well, not flirting, but they're kind of looking at each other. More on that later. And Jamie goes to pick out a Halloween costume. She picks out a clown costume. And then we see Michael Myers pop up behind her. He puts his typical mask on that's in the thumbnail of this video. He tries to kill her. She goes right into the mirror and it breaks. And you know, Rachel. Obviously, when everybody comes back, Rachel doesn't see anything. She just assumes that you got scared by one of the Halloween masks. And then we see Dr. Loomis again, and Dr. Loomis is trying to thumb for a ride. Eventually, he gets picked up by a Reverend. His name was Reverend. Where is he? And by the way, the doctor's name was Dr. Hoffman. That was the doctor that Dr. Loomis was mad that released Michael Myers. I'm sorry, I didn't get his name right. I just didn't say it in the movie and stuff. But we see Reverend Jackson P. Sayer, and he's pretty much a crazy drunk, but kind of like a Catholic person in a way. And he pretty much says that he's going to God's country. He's going to he's going to find the end of the world and kill it. And then, and obviously, Dr. Loomis believes him because of everything that's going on. So, yeah, but Dr. Loomis pretty much gets a ride from Reverend Reverend Jackson P. Sayer. Reverend Jackson, though, was an awesome character in this movie. He was just so crazy, and I loved it. Then, Jamie's parents go out, and Rachel and Jamie go out trick-or-treating. During this, Michael Myers pops over, and he looks at the pictures of her and Jamie together. Jamie earlier had seen a younger version of Michael Myers. And then Jamie and Rachel are having fun trick-or-treating. Jamie's having the time of her life. This is probably the most fun she's ever had. She meets new friends. And then Dr. Loomis shows up at the police station. He tries to find Sheriff Brackett, but we find out Sheriff Brackett retired, which I'm wondering if he retired because of everything that happened 10 years ago. So then we meet Sheriff Meeker, and Dr. Loomis warns him about everything that happened, and at first he doesn't believe him, but then he starts to believe him. He wants them to start getting people. But and he wants everyone to warn the town to clear the streets. But then the radios don't work and the electricity doesn't work. So then he starts to believe him, and he's gonna go tell everyone to to evacuate the streets and close down all the shops. So then we see a guy working and trying to get the electricity back on. Then we see Michael Myers pop up to him. The guy thinks it's just a guy playing a Halloween trick. So, but when he turns around, Michael Myers takes him and he throws him into a high voltage box and he electrocutes, and this turns out the entire town's lights out, or electricity out, so it's completely black. And then Jamie and Rachel get lost, so they're trying to find each other. Dr. Loomis and Sheriff Meeker go back to Jamie's house, and they find out Michael Myers has been there because they see the dog Sandy has been murdered by him, which I felt very bad for the dog. So then they have to try to pretty much find Jamie before Michael Myers finds her. So they do some nice scenes where Jamie's trying to find Michael Myers, Jamie's trying to find Rachel's trying to find Jamie. And then Rachel spots Michael Myers, and she runs away and climbs over the fence. I didn't mention, by the way, that Michael Myers is Jamie's uncle, but I'm assuming you guys would know that since Laura's Michael Myers' sister, so that would obviously be that connection. I should have mentioned that earlier, though. And then Rachel and Jamie find each other, and then and Deputy I forgot to mention there was another cop that was with them. His name was Deputy Logan. He was told to stay at the house in case they showed up. And actually, I jumped ahead of myself. Actually, that's not what happens next. So there's a bunch of people at a bar, and the bar owner wants to know why he has to close his shop, but then the phones don't work. So then they go to the police station, and then they pick up Rachel and Jamie, Dr. Loomis and Sheriff Meeker, and Michael Myers pops out, and Dr. Loomis is gonna go shoot him, but then like 2 more guys in Michael Myers mask pop out, and Dr. Loomis doesn't know which one to shoot, but then we find out it was all a Halloween prank. Everybody takes off their mask and runs off. So then but I thought that was a really good scene. I thought it was awesome. So then everybody drives away, and when they drive away, we see Michael Myers is watching them, and then they go back to the police station. Sheriff Meekett and Dr. Loomis sees that Michael Myers broke in and killed everybody. I thought the effects of this scene looked very good, and everybody at the bar is all mad that they have to close their shop. So then Dr. Loomis tells them that Michael Myers has escaped and that he's here to kill everybody again. So then everybody realizes that he could possibly kill everyone, so they all want to go kill Michael Myers. Sheriff Meekett's upset that Dr. Loomis sent everybody out there in a riot. But Dr. Loomis actually said, well, this is actually a good idea because you have no police for it. These are the best defense you got, which I actually thought made sense. So then they go back to Sheriff Meekett's house, and I actually forgot to cover this. I was going to wait. We find out that one of the houses that Jamie and Rachel went to was the woman who was working at that Halloween store that Brady was looking at. Well, apparently we found out that her and Brady were having sex because Brady was upset that Rachel stood her up and let him know last minute. So she did this because he was mad at her. Rachel was upset about this. So yeah, they were having sex pretty much, and we find out that Sheriff Brackett was her dad, which was kind of funny and very ironic. Deputy Logan gets a call to go to his house, and we see Michael Myers hiding in the back seat of the car, and Jamie and Rachel's parents come home right after he leaves, which was very ironic as well. So then everybody's pretty much gonna bolt down the place. They're gonna because Kelly, who's Sheriff Meeker's daughter, sees that Sheriff Meeker comes home, so Brady and Kelly change back into their clothes before Sheriff Meeker comes in, and this was kind of awkward because Rachel pretty much had to go in there with Kelly and Brady, but I kind of like this because they all had to put aside their differences to take out Michael Myers, so I thought that was really well done. And they're pretty much going to bolt down the place. They're going to nail the doors shut. They're going to do everything they can to keep Michael Myers out. And this happens for several minutes. Deputy Logan went to go out and get his gun, and we see that Michael Myers has opened his door and gotten out. So pretty much we're supposed to assume, we know that Michael Myers is going to break in somehow, some way. We just didn't really know how we were going to get to that destination. So then pretty much what happens is throughout the rest of the scenes, Brady comes in and asks Jamie what happened. No, asks Rachel and Jamie what's going on, and then they talk about how they tell him about the Michael Myers story. And Jamie actually knew that was her uncle, actually. And everybody had made fun of Jamie earlier in this movie because her uncle was the boogeyman. And then she's like, everyone at school was right. My uncle is the boogeyman. So then Brady goes upstairs and nails down the doors of the attic so that way Michael Myers can't get in. And we hear something we think is going to be Michael Myers, but he doesn't show up. Sheriff Meekett and Dr. Loomis are downstairs. They have like a ham radio that's not connected to anything. It works without power, and they try to warn the state police to come over and take care of this situation. At first they think it's a Halloween prank, but then they reveal that it wasn't. And then they overhear, earlier in the movie, some of the mob from the bar shot someone thinking it was Michael Myers, but then he actually wasn't. Sheriff Mika gets a call about it, so he has to go out and investigate that. Dr. Loomis goes out to try to stop Michael Myers because he doesn't think the state police is going to be able to stop him. Rachel goes downstairs and is very concerned, wants to know when they can go home, and Rachel gets put in charge of watching the radio. Rachel and Kelly talk shit to each other after everything that happened with Brady. She dumps coffee on her, which I thought was a funny scene. And then Kelly comes in, and Deputy Logan was guarding the door holding his gun. And she comes in and she sees Deputy Logan, and she starts talking to him, asking him for coffee, and saying that they should put the MTV Awards on if, we could put that on if the power was working. And he doesn't say anything. And then when she lights a candle, she sees Deputy Logan's been murdered. And we see that the guy that was sitting in the rocking chair actually was Michael Myers. And I thought this was, he kills Kelly. He stabs her right through her stomach with a gun, and just pretty much nails her to the door, or to the wall. And I thought this was a great scene. I've watched it back like 30 times because I knew Michael Myers was getting in, and I was a little bit suspicious about why the guy wasn't responding, and I should have made that connection that was Michael Myers, but I just thought that he was just so focused on trying to get Michael Myers that's why he wasn't saying anything. But that was awesome. I thought this was an awesome scene, and it was really badass. So then Rachel goes upstairs because she was told to stay down there when they got word that the state police were coming, and to tell Sheriff Meekin about it. But then she sees that Deputy Logan and Kelly have been murdered, and then she tries to find Jamie, but Jamie isn't in her room. She was originally sleeping, and she thinks that Michael Myers took her. Rachel and Brady hears about all this, and Brady and Rachel Brady tries to shoot his gun at the door to get out, but because the door's been nailed down and it's metal, they can't get out, so they're trapped in there. Michael Myers stalks them, but then we see Jamie finally pop out, and Michael Myers then had popped out after that, and Jamie tries the best he can to fight him off. He tries hitting him, but it doesn't have any effect on Michael Myers. So then he grabs his gun, throws it to the second floor, and pretty much crushes Brady. I thought that was a great scene. And then Jamie and Rachel have to escape. They throw down a bunch of boxes, preventing Michael Myers from slowing him down to climb up, but he's still able to climb up. And then they break through the attic window to get out. But then the problem is they're on a steep roof. So then Rachel puts Jamie on her shoulders, on her back, and they try to run across the roof, but they keep slipping. Michael Myers keeps trying to come several times to stab them. So then she hangs Jamie up by like a harness and has her go down. She was supposed to go down gently, but Michael Myers came up, and he tries to stab Rachel. He misses. Rachel keeps stuck in, and then Rachel holds onto the roof, but then she falls, and then also Jamie falls, and Rachel's just unconscious. She's not dead, but she's unconscious. We were supposed to think that she was dead, and then Jamie tries to wake her up, but Michael Myers is coming after her, so she runs off, and then Rachel starts to come to, and then Jamie continues to run away from Michael Myers. Dr. Loomis pops up behind her, and they can't go to her house because that's the first place he's gonna go. So then Dr. Loomis and Jamie go to the elementary school. He shoots his way in, and then Dr. Loomis and Jamie are in the schoolhouse. They think they're safe, but Michael Myers pops up behind Dr. Loomis, throws him through a window, goes after Jamie. Jamie tries to escape. She trips coming in. Michael Myers tries to grab her leg, but then Rachel comes in and sprays Michael Myers with a fire extinguisher. Rachel and Jamie escape, and the people from the ball show up, and they want to just go in there and shoot him. But Jamie's like, no, he'll kill you too. So Rachel suggests, let's just let the state police handle this. Let's get out of Hatenfield. So that's exactly what happens. They leave. The state police come up and you know, tell them that, and the crowd tells them that they're leaving. So the state police says they're gonna go handle this. You think the movie's finally over? It's gonna be a happy ending. The guy driving the car says you're gonna be okay. Then Michael Myers pops up in the bed of the truck. He was hiding underneath there. He kills a couple of those guys on the back of the truck with a knife. He throws one of them off of there, and then he kills the driver. He rips off some of his skin off. So then Rachel has to drive the car, and Rachel's trying to drive the car and trying to avoid Michael Myers. Michael Myers is trying to reach up after them. Michael Myers falls off the car. Rachel hits him with the car. She even says, "Die, you son of a bitch." And then we think he's dead. The state police show up. Jamie tries to see if he's dead. We see Michael Myers start to come to, and then he tries to kill Jamie, but then the state police just shoot Michael Myers. They shoot up a storm at him, and Michael Myers is getting every single one of these bullets, and he falls through this hole, and then we don't see him again. And I thought that was a great scene, but there's more. So then afterwards, Jamie and Rachel go back home with Dr. Loomis and Sheriff Meekett, and Jamie's mother is going to run her a hot bath. Then we see the camera just has the view of someone like as you see them. We're supposed to think, and we see someone walking through the house. They grab a pair of scissors. We're supposed to think that this is Michael Myers, and this person pops up, kills Jamie and Rachel's mother, and then Dr. Loomis goes up the stairs, and he says no in disbelief, and we see that it was Jamie, and pretty much the same thing happened with Jamie that happened with Michael Myers, that she pretty much murdered her mother, and she was in like a state like Michael Myers was in back in the first movie, and everybody just comes up in disbelief, and then the movie ends, and that was the end of the movie. Overall, I thought this actually was a really good movie. I thought this was a great follow-up to the second movie. I really wish this had been the third one, because this was more of a follow-up. I liked the scenes in this movie. I liked the kills in this movie. I like the story of this movie. I like the connection with Rachel and Jamie, and you know, Jamie having to deal with this tough life, not having her mother, and she kind of doesn't really know why, but does know why. I like the stuff that happened with Dr. Loomis. The guy that plays Dr. Loomis, I'm just gonna say who he is now. Donald Pleasance. He does a great job playing Dr. Loomis. I think he does a fantastic job. And I really enjoyed this movie. It was really good. Definitely the ending made this movie. This movie still was really good. I was going to give it an 8 out of 10, but that brought it up to an 8.5. That ending really made the movie, and it really makes you want to watch. Now, obviously, we know there's a fifth one. I'm assuming they were intended on making a fifth one, because I don't think they would have done that as an ending if they weren't intended on doing it. So now that I've kind of reviewed this movie, let me go through the cast of this movie. Now I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say who played who. I'm not gonna say what movies they were in before and stuff. So, Donald Pleasance, Dr. Sam Loomis was played by Donald Pleasance, as I just said. Jamie Lloyd was played by Danielle Harris. Rachel Carruthers was played. Rachel Carruthers was played by Ellie Cornell. Michael Myers was played by George P. Wilbur. I think he plays him throughout the rest of this time in this movie, but I'm not sure. Michael Myers, from the ambulance and gas station scenes, was played by Tom Morga. Eric Preston plays young Michael Myers in this movie. Sheriff Ben Meeker was played by Bruce Starr. Kelly Meeker was played by Kathleen Kinmote. Brady was played by Sasha Jensen. Dr. Hoffman was played by Michael Patrick Key. Lindsay Wallace, she was I'm trying to remember who she was in this movie. She's a friend of Rachel Carruthers, actually. I think she's the friend that picks her up. I actually forgot who she was. Earl Ford was played by Gene Ross. I have no clue who that was in this movie. Reverend Jackson P. Sayer was played by Carmen Philby. Security guard, I believe this is the guy that was in the beginning of the movie that goes to get Michael Myers, was played by Raymond O'Connor. Richard Carruthers, which I think is Rachel's dad, is played by Jeff Olson. Darlene Carruthers, who's Rachel's mom, is played by Karen Alston. Woman attendant was played by Nancy Borgnant. I'm assuming these are the people that go to pick up Michael Myers in the beginning of the movie. Man attendant was played by David Jensen. Deputy Logan was played by George Sullivan. Alan Big Al Gateway was played by Michael Rudd. Orrin Gateway was played by Eric Holt. I think these are the people that are the bald people that, but these are two of them. Unger, who's as Wade Logan Field, is played by Logan Field. And then State Trooper at ambulance crash site is played by Alan B. McElroy. And then for the production of this movie, I'm just going to try to see if I can go into that a little bit. I haven't really read it, not going to lie. So like I said, people wanted, I mentioned that people wanted, I'm just gonna, but yeah, people wanting to see Michael Myers. John Carpenter actually was approached to do this movie again and Deborah, but John Carpenter had just got done finishing, with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and this is just what I'm reading. And then Deborah I'm just reading this real quick. So they pretty much didn't want it. They weren't interested. They had an idea. Dennis Richmond wanted to have Halloween banned and erase the memory of Michael Myers, but they didn't like it. So they signed all their rights away to this movie, which I said had happened. I assumed happened. And he didn't want to do it anymore. He wasn't interested, so this brought in David H. Little, who replaced Carpenter, and he has directed Freddy's Nightmares, the TV show. So, and then the movie though as a box office draw. So pretty much it was just a dispute on scripts about why they didn't want to do this. They didn't really have any creative ideas. But this movie drew $17.7 million in box office. That's still pretty decent. It's not great. I mean, I think that's still really good. But compared to the other ones, I believe the other one drew 26.7 million. This one didn't draw as much as this, but this still did a pretty decent, pretty good in the. I think this still did really well in the box office, and there was $5 million. This movie had a $5 million budget going into it, and obviously this movie isn't done yet. We got This movie, there's about, there's 4 more sequels after this movie. This is pretty much going to be a 4-part movie right here. So I'm actually interested to see what happens next because I actually really enjoyed this movie. So yeah, if I had to rate this movie overall, like I said, I'm going to rate this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was really well done. And you could definitely see that there was new writers that took control of this idea. It is kind of a shame that John Carpenter and Deborah Hill aren't really involved in it because I think they could have had some great ideas for this movie as well. But hey, it didn't happen. Sometimes that happens. How did this? I don't really know how this movie did. Like with the how the critics rated this movie because it doesn't really go into detail about that. But this movie actually was referenced in pop culture. Actually, I want to mention this. So in 1992, there was a TV show called My Cousin Vinny. Well, in the film My Cousin Vinny, James Reborn's character was pays homage to George Wilbur, who played Michael Myers. In the film The Lost World, they have VHS copies of Halloween 4 and 5. And then in Family Guy, obviously everyone should know about this. Tom Tucker, this was when he was in the acting business. It said that he originally played Michael Myers in this movie, and he used George P. Wilbur as his stage name, since that's who actually played Michael Myers. And then in an episode of South Park, they were Randy I haven't watched South Park before, but Randy breaks into the bedroom where he sees 2 girls watching this movie on Netflix. So this movie obviously made it into today's culture because it's been in reference in Family Guy, South Park, Jurassic Park. I couldn't think of the name, and then in My Cousin Vinny. So this movie's got some pop culture references. So yeah, that's pretty much my review of this movie. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow to do another Halloween movie review series. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. This actually didn't really take me all that long to actually talk about the movie itself because it really was pretty basic. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so that way people will watch it. And make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell so that way every time I upload one of these Halloween movie review series or another video, you guys will get the notification for it. And make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers channel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.